talking about this the other day, just unique ways to connect. Our last call was coming up with strategies about how to connect with people, through text message or through DMs, and just really understanding why you're connecting to them. What's your message?
Aaron,
Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback. I didn't know if you guys can hear that or not.
you're good.
I'll send this over to Melissa, and she's just going to talk to us a little bit about her social media strategy.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. So I don't just use social media. I also really like the text and the voice notes, but I'm going to just talk about the social media today. I know not everyone uses social media and it's not necessary, but it is one of the realms that I play in. So I want to offer this to anyone that also likes social media or wants to get more into it. I've had a love-hate relationship with it, and it's taken me many, many years to heal that relationship and to actually see it now as an amazing tool for me, just having discipline around it. So I decide who I follow and don't get caught in the swirl of the world of social media, but I really customize my experience by deciding who I follow and all of that. That's just my preface, because it can be a really amazing tool. So I, for one, have gotten into the habit of posting. If you know what, I use Instagram. This is what I'll be talking about because that's where the realm that I play in. I got into the habit, if you know what Instagram is, in the habit of posting on my stories. So if you know what stories are, there are those things that expire every 24 hours. So they live for 24 hours and they expire. However, you can save them on your page. There's a way to do that. And so I got in the habit of posting every day, not about the patches every day, but just about my life, just so people can get to know me, what I'm up to. And I take advantage of the cool places that I'm at. We're living in Costa Rica now, so there's plenty to take pictures of. But even when I was in Canada, like whatever it is, right? You're just sharing yourself so people can get to know you a little bit. I often say, like, whatever you're sharing, just be authentic, be yourself, walk the walk, talk the talk. Don't just pretend, and just be authentic in your shares with in your life. Because then when you're not authentic, people can resonate with that. So I've made it a habit, like just like brushing my teeth every day, I'll share something on social media. I'm not just like blasting people with the patches. I choose when I share about them. Maybe I don't know, maybe once every few days or so, I'll kind of drop in a little reminder around the patches. And how I do it is I put it in my stories. And what I'll do is I'll just show how I'm wearing the patches. So sometimes I wear the patches somewhere else on my body, somewhere where it's visible. And I like to just talk about like how it's supporting me, or even just seeing the visual of the patch, me wearing it, is a nice little reminder. And sometimes I'll go more in depth about talking about what the patch actually is, how it works, and then infuse in just like little reminders here and there. What I like to do in my stories, how do I engage with people? So like, I know Alex talks a lot about like series of exposure, and that's my intention of just like bringing it in every few days. I'll put a little something about the patch, and I just did something today. And if you see, my Instagram handle is on my name at Mel Wicked. You can see in my stories, I just talked about how the patches are supporting me right now in my current chapter in my life. And then the key is you need to have after you've done your share, have a call to action. So you want to you can use the different emojis and things like that in stories. I put a question box, and I'll put something like, drop your favorite emoji if you want to learn more about this. Or today I wrote, are you ready for your glow up? Like what area in your life do you want to give a little glow up in your world? Is it mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually? I want to know. I want to hear you. So I put it in the question box. I put the question box there, and then people will respond and put their little favorite emoji because it's fun. Now I know that they've given me permission, that they're open to converse, because I said I want to hear, like, what is it that where do you want to glow up? Or do you want to hear more information about this? This is when I go into the direct messages and I go in and I say, hey, I saw that you responded in my question box with an emoji or whatever it is that I did. Have you heard about these patches before, or are you already using them? So I kind of like just to see where they're at with it. And if they're like, no, I don't know anything about it, and I'll just go from there. And I love how Alex has been training us to ask more questions rather than to just blurb it all out, because now I'm in conversation with them. So I want to be like, what's going on in your life? Where is there an area where you could use some support? Or, you know, maybe it's for someone else you may know, and then you just going with the flow of the conversation. And then I ask if they're open and curious to receive more information about it. I'll drop them the Start X39. It kind of just flows from there. But I like to take the conversations into the DMs, and then from there, eventually I do get their phone number, and then I can either get them on a call or voice note on WhatsApp. So that's one of the ways in the stories that I do it. Not everybody watches your stories. So then I will also take time to make posts on that lives on my actual Instagram feed. So for those that don't see the stories, they'll see it there. And again, always a call to action in your description. Hey, DM me or direct message me for more information. I'd love to share more, or whatever it is. And then the other thing I'll say about how I use social media is it's easy to just like, I do take a picture and just post it, a little reminder of the patch, but also what really translates, what I've learned from my experience, is your voice current, and your face. So it would be it's really, really powerful to, I know it might be awkward at first, and I've been through my journey of awkwardness around being behind a camera, and to share your experience, to find your wording around it. It could be simple, it doesn't need to be profound, and you don't have to know all of the science or anything like that, but just to bring your face and to share what your experience has been really powerful. Those are some of the things. Yeah. And then just share your why. I love sharing my why and coming back to that and the different layers as to why I said yes to the patches, why I continue to say yes, how it's supporting me and helping me in my life right now. And I'll leave it at that, Aaron, if you want to come at me with any questions or like expand on anything.
No, yeah, I think maybe if you could expand on the piece, because I think it's really important. And I think it's actually speaks to how you connected with Alex at first, because I think there was a lot of people that were speaking about X39 that you came across on social media. But I think there was a unique energy about Alex. And I think that's how the same thing with you, is people are being attracted to your voice, your energy, as people are being attracted to Alex and her energy. Mm-hmm. And maybe you can just speak on that a little bit. If that makes any sense.
I think I hear what you're saying. Like, I think that ties back to sharing yourself authentically,
yes,
sharing your voice, sharing your face. Cause it was a video that I saw. I didn't know Alex. I just saw her talking about, it was about X39, but I was like, wow, like there's something about her. If she didn't put out or decided to go and share herself that way, I would have never found her. So there's just infinite amounts of ways that people can find you. When you start getting into energy and intention, you can set that intention and people will be drawn to you. But that's why I say that piece about sharing yourself authentically. For me, it's daily. Whatever it is for you, maybe you're building up to that so that people can see you, and then they can decide if they resonate with you or not. And if they don't, great, they're not for you. Perfect. You're not attached. Like, you just trust that the right people are going to find you, and you're welcoming the opportunity for people to engage with you. And then there's times when I actually go and message people. That's a whole other thing. But yeah.
Perfect.
Anything, yeah.
I want to hear about that. Like, yeah, we'll get to that stuff later. No, I want to say something about this energy thing too, because everybody has, like you said, we all have our unique way of being, and we attract who we are. We don't attract necessarily what we think we want always, but who we are. And that's the team that you want to attract, because those are the people that are going to understand you and meet you where you are. So there's nothing to be afraid of when it comes to putting yourself out there. Nobody's better than anyone else. We're all perfectly unique and perfectly have our own resonance with other people. And yeah, it's all energy, but that's what we talk about. We're called quantum team, not by any mistake, right? The patch works quantumly as well. And so we all connect this way. And everything that you are is 100% valid where you are. And so what you love about the patch is going to speak to somebody. And the more you become educated and you get on every Monday and Wednesday call that I'm doing, and you hear the verbiage differently each time, just a little bit, what resonates for you, write that down and practice speaking that. What I'm going to be doing tonight actually is going to be a little different. I had my own little aha as I was walking down the hallway the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, People are taking something to grow their hair, to make their skin better, to get their collagen, to fall asleep, to wake up, to get energy, to get rid of pain, to get rid of inflammation, holy moly. How many things are people taking already? We can have a discussion about any of those things in social media, any of those things that we're listening for. So we can make it a unique experience. And so it's not just about your testimony. It's about knowing that we can touch everyone with the things that they're already looking for by just putting it out there and in the most unique, personal way you can, even if it's just compassion. I've never had pain in my body that I've felt I needed to take things for. I don't have Advil or any of those things, maybe in a quick injury or something, but I can't speak on that from a level of suffering, right? But I definitely can speak on most of the other things. So we all have our own unique thing, but I can still listen for somebody who may be in pain and still meet them there. So that just for ideas of what to post and how to post it and how to be unique and authentic about it. So yeah.
Nice. No, great point. So yeah, just looking at time, I'll put this out there. We're both on YouTube and we're on Zoom, guys. So feel free to put questions in either place, and I'll Donna put one in there. I have that, so when we get to Q&A, I'll make sure that Alex and Melissa can definitely answer those. But Alex, I know you wanted to spend some time tonight on just the importance of auto ship, and I know it kind of gets brushed over a little bit, but it's actually a really key thing for people to get to manager. So can you just spend a little bit of time and explain it to everybody? Yeah.
Yes. Because to make this a leveraged business and for all of us to be successful, we sell product. We have a product. We all have a product and a service. Everyone does. There's nothing to be embarrassed about when it comes to sharing a product. If you had a storefront that had clothing, you would be shameless about getting your friends over there, right? So don't worry about that. But having people understand that having an experience with this product most often will lead to somebody who wants to stay on it forever, so long as we continue to engage with them, to check in with them. And that's all on build331.com, the system, the training that I did on that talks about what Melissa was just mentioning, that series of exposures, staying engaged, making sure they're putting their patches on, making sure they're using it, and they've got most of the time we're selling the silver pack, right? So who are they sharing it with? Who else in their household? What about their mom? What about somebody else? We can plant those seeds in our very first follow-up because they have enough product there to do that. They could even sell one of them if they wanted to. But the reason why we want to put people in auto ship at that level of silver is because we're putting them in our organization to help grow to move the product, of course, but to help grow the team and get more people on the product, because that's how we're going to change the world, right? That's how we're going to alleviate suffering and enhance people's lives. So when I put somebody on silver, basically when I offer just at the point of sale, as you always hear me say, you can try it for a month for $150, or you can come in with a wholesale brand partner account and get 3 for the price of 2 at $299. It comes with an auto ship that will be shipped the next month. You do have control over that. We can always shift it out. But the reason why I want people in there, and I might just say it, the reason I have that, I want to keep that set there is because you're most likely, once you start experiencing this product, or if you're sharing it with somebody else in your household, you're most likely going to want to share with a few other people. It's just kind of an organic thing that happens. And should you decide to share in this time, I want to make sure that you are set up as where you can up level to a brand partner where you're actually actively sharing, and you have a way of earning leveraged mailbox money, basically. So however that looks for you, I don't want people's points to flush out when they decide to start sharing. And if they don't, we can always push that out until they're running out, or if they're not sharing it with somebody in their household, we have control over that 100%. And so I consider a silver a wholesale person. So they're not yet ready to share just because they're in the organization. But I want them to know that there is a brand partnership option for them. It's the same exact account, but should they start actively sharing, I want to make sure they're set up to not leave any money on the table and get their products, where they can start getting their products for less, in the sense by getting paid and putting that towards their own product moving forward. We're not here to make them buy more than they need. We want to encourage them to have a great experience, share it with people, and then we can have that next conversation. And that next conversation could happen in that first month very often, where they say, well, gosh, I need to get this person and that person, and I've talked to this person. Then I say, okay, well, there's some places, let me show you how you can plug them in. And should they start kicking up to order, let's go ahead and bump you up to gold, because gold is the next level where you can start to actually make money. And that's where those points come in handy. So it's very important. And also because, we're in the service to help other people. Yes, we have a vision for our business. We have our why. And so in order to maintain that manager level and move on to director and beyond, we need to set things up so that we're not waffling and having to go back and resell people and get them started up again, and where people are at silver and they're active and then they're falling out, and then we're out of manager, and then structure is going. We really want to continue to bring more and more and more people in, so they're always cycling. So there's always fresh people that are in there, but then we're always building that relationship, reaching out, doing that part of that 331 of how is this working for you? Who are you talking with? Who do you know who's suffering from pain or wants to grow their hair back, or who's got joint pain or inflammation or whatever the things? Have that list of all the things that can happen in the body when we activate with X39, and ask them straight up, who do you know who can benefit from this? You can help me to touch more people, and I can certainly make, you're already set up for that to be a benefit to you as well. That's what we do. We just take out the middleman of the store. We are just the mouthpiece, and I'm so proud of that. I want nothing more than to educate people on how they can improve their life. That's really our job, is to educate them and solidify their habit and help them to think outside of themselves, to spread that love and help other people. That is how we are successful. And so with that hat on, how can I serve? How can I serve? How can they help serve? How can I imprint in them that they can also extend this out and benefit from it themselves, but help other people? The emotional paycheck of somebody calling me and saying, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping. That makes my day. There's nothing to be afraid of in making that phone call. I'm like, oh my gosh, who else do you know who's suffering from that, or this or this or that? Let's lock arms. I would love to educate them too. And then as they do that a little bit, then we have the business conversation and say, you're already doing what I do. So let's make sure you stay qualified, and let me show you what the next step is where you can start making some money. To be rewarded for your time and for your heart, putting that out there. So a lot of it is inside your mind, in understanding that all we're doing is trying to get more people on the product. We're not trying to make people buy more than they want. But in order to help get other people on the product, we have to implant in them the idea of thinking outside of themselves and putting it out there, helping me to help others. People love to reciprocate in that way. When they've been helped and they've had a great experience, they want to move that forward, but sometimes they don't think outside of themselves. We have to breathe that into them and just say, you're already like, if they can get how excited I am that I've just changed their life in a positive way, and that they can do that too, that's what's going to solidify them and get them talking. And so that auto ship is a blessing in that way, because now they're set up to not leave anything on the table. And I say that a lot. I want to just make sure you're set up in case you start sharing with people, which you probably will. And as I check in through the month, I want you to be thinking of who else could benefit from this, so that we can all, we all win. It's a quantum, leveraged way to change the world one person at a time, So that silver is important. We have to solidify that to keep that manager position. But if you're thinking and you're doing the 331 and you are sharing and sharing and sharing in every way that you can, then you're going to constantly have people coming in at silver and breathing that life into them. Some of them might drop out. They might want to push it out until the third month. And that's fine too. Maybe you have 7 silvers that come in and they're all like, I'm not ready for it yet. I'm still just waiting for my experience. And that's fine. Great. I'm going to push your auto ship out a little bit so that you don't have more than you need, but please don't be shy. I'm talking with other people. And then at the end, it'll kick in, and then they're just on that auto ship, and then they're solid silver. But if you're doing that in the beginning and you're getting more than just your 2 and 2, because the structure to manager is 2 active silvers on each leg, right? And you are at gold or above. So those 2 on each side, if you actually have 6 on each side and 2 fall out because they're not ready yet, that's fine, because you've got the new ones that are there. So you're constantly keeping that funnel full. And then those who are ready to pop will, some won't, some will stop, and then some will just go flying. You just don't know. So I don't call it a numbers game. I just constantly share because I constantly want more people on the product. So I'm not attached. If they want to move it out, 100%, no problem. We can move it out. But I am attached to continuing to build that vision for them on each call and making sure they're having a great experience, and that they're not expecting something that's unrealistic, and that they're seeing things that they didn't expect. That is our work. That's really our work. And that will create a solid customer who stays on auto ship, and it'll cause people to start sharing with other people, which moves them into basically being a brand partner, an active brand partner. And then those who have goals to fly are going to be yet another set of exposures. And that's why we do these live calls. And I'm going to be doing, just as a quick announcement here, I'm going to be doing a book club really soon on a book called How to Sell Network Marketing Without Fear, Anxiety, or Losing Your Friends by Michael Oliver. Go to Amazon right now. Go ahead and grab it. I will make an announcement about this. I'm going through the book again right now and seeing how I want to chunk it out. But I want to do a live call where we're each reading and going through section by section how to do this, because it really is about how to come from the heart and how to only offer our product and our opportunity in such a way to people who are ready to hear it. So you're not hitting blank walls. Sort of how Melissa was just saying, she puts it out there and says, raise your hand if you want information. Right? That those people are interested. When we're just listening to somebody and they're complaining about something, any of the number of things we know we can help them with, I'm then wanting to get curious about that and find out, more about that. And when I do that, that's what I'm instilling in them when I'm doing my follow-up. What are people saying to you? Who do you know who do you know who could benefit from these things? That's going to become much more natural we're going to talk about this. Natural selling is what it's called. And so all of this is going to sink in more and more and more, and you're going to get excited to do your follow-up calls and not afraid anymore because of what this is about and what this can do. So anyways, I'm going on and on. But that's important, really, really important, because we don't want you to fall out and feel fear of loss and, oh my gosh, because it becomes about you and your business, and it's really still about others. So you guys are all laughing. Did I say something?
No.
That was so good. It was good at some point. I know Melissa has a quick question, but just before we get there. No. Just before we get there. Now let's just chunk that auto ship down just real quick. And we have 2 different people that that come to you. You have a person that comes to you that's just kind of interested in trying the patches out. Auto ship, they're kind of like and then you have the second person that comes to you and they're like gung ho, they want to do the business. How do you approach the 2 just differently when it comes to auto ship?
When it comes to auto ship, if somebody's gung ho, they want to do the business. Well, that's if they're gung ho and they want to do the business and they're running out of patches because they're giving them away or they're sharing them in the household. Then my next offer is to bump them up to gold. And then put them on an auto ship of 2, one for themselves and their spouse or somebody in the family, or one for themselves and one to sample. I always still talk about the diamond pack, of course, especially if they're gung ho, right? I mean, the next option after silver is gold or platinum. Gold or diamond. Those are that's the next jump. But if they're still just getting their feet wet, gold is next. And that really is the structure to get to manager. And then I start to breathe into them the idea of, okay, well, once we get you to this first milestone, this is really the template of what we do and duplicate all over the place to get to the top. So mastering getting yourself to manager and teaching other people to get to manager is how we win the game. So I want to bring them up at least to gold and then double up on their auto ship so they're getting 2. The only thing that is, I don't like when people have to, they get confused when they go to gold and they get that extra patch, right? They get that extra sleeve, which I think is an awesome bonus from the company. But it's also important to let them know you're going to get a bonus of something else. I want you to try that, but we're not talking about that with other people. We're staying focused on X39. That's just a beautiful bonus. So you can look at the different areas of your life that you might want that extra little try. And then we add that in there because you do get that extra sleeve when you go to gold. Just so you don't confuse the issue and start getting all into the other patches. They're beautiful. They're great. We're not focused.
Okay.
Erin,
Yeah.
can I tie in my question? Because I think it's kind of like
Yes.
yours, but so this is where an area where I actually can use more support in. So I'm wondering, Alex, you expressed that so beautifully, and I'm looking for something like, okay, practical, because I feel like then you were practical, but let's go even more practical. Okay, so someone is signing up for a silver right now, and then the option pops up to put a monthly auto ship. What do you say in that moment? Like, what do you say to them? What's your verbiage around the monthly auto ship when it pops up?
Well, it doesn't just pop up because
Well,
I get
like,
their information
yeah.
before. So
Okay, no,
I,
okay, when it
I
shows up.
let them know. Say, okay, well, here's and this is good because the benefits of coming in at silver, you save on shipping. You're getting 3 packs for the price of 2 or of 2, retail. So you're already saving. You're saving on shipping. So if you have somebody else in the household, and I'll ask them, do you have somebody else in the household you're going to share them with? I think it's incredible to grab a few other people with the extra patches. You can even sell them to a couple of friends, and all 3 of you try it for the month, and the auto ship will kick in the next month, and then you can share all your experience. That's one thing. But when I'm speaking with somebody, I say it comes with 3 months upfront and an auto ship that starts in 28 days. You do have extra product there to share with your family or with your friends, which is great. The auto ship can be pushed out if needed, but let's let the month move through. I'm going to be in touch with you and see how your experience goes. And I want you to be thinking of other people as you're learning about it. I'll be sending you a little bit more information. I do a talk twice a week. I'd love for you to hop on there to dive in a little bit more about how this works. You might even invite a friend or two. And this way, if some of these other people do decide they want to get started too, you can actually offset your cost by making a little bit of money. And then, of course, there's more that can be done, but don't worry, you don't have to share. Just want to make sure you're set up in case you start finding yourself sharing. And you don't have to even say all of that if you don't want to. The way Onyx does it, she straight up says you get 3 months supply and an auto ship. You have full control over your auto ship. Let me go ahead and get your information. Where do you want it shipped? But I like the extra, disclosure. I don't want anybody to get something that they're not ready for. They need to know that they're in control of that auto ship. And I always send their their username and login and everything if I create their username, so that they know exactly what to do with that. So, and then of course, if you set in your calendar, your follow-up, make sure you touch base and reach them before that auto ship goes out, because again, they won't feel in control if they forgot you said that. They won't feel in control of their money, and that makes people not happy. So you want to make sure you do let them know, and don't just set it up without them knowing that. So you can write it out and speak it out a few times before you offer it next time, but it is really important to set it up that way. And if you don't, you're just going to be having to sell every month, and it's not going to grow, and people aren't going to get the full experience they can get.
Yeah, Alex, can you just touch on this? Because Donna brought up a good point too, and I don't think we've talked about it yet, is like what actually happens to people if they if they lose points, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's basically
yeah.
the bucket. Yeah. So they'll still be in your organization for 6 months if they go inactive. If they don't have an active auto ship, they'll still be there and they can activate later. I again like to just push it out so that when they run out at 3 months, if they don't want it right there, I'll push it out so that they don't run out later, because they'll definitely be feeling it by the end of their 3 months. But when or if they do fall out and they're no longer qualifying, then they'll hold position there, but they won't be able to collect points from what's happening underneath them. And so in last week's call, we talked about the text that I do at day 4, where I'm like, hey, I'm not sure if you're feeling it yet, but my gosh, maybe you're one of the lucky ones. And I ask about the different things that they might be feeling. Most of the time they answer right away with one of them, like, wow, I didn't even realize, but yeah, I have been sleeping better. Or my gosh, I know at about week 3, if they're going to grow hair, they're going to start seeing it at about week 3. So I just get really excited about that follow-up that's going to happen before the end of the month anyway, so that I can touch base on that auto ship and say, this is coming at this time. How are you doing on the patches? Have you shared with anybody else? Because if you don't, then these points, I've got this team that's rocking underneath you. Don't worry, you don't have to do it, but I've got this rocking team that's growing underneath you, and there's points that are collecting. And if you do decide to do this in the future, if there's any inkling in there, then we don't want those points to dump out, right? So that's what happens. So I know that's a lot more than just a straight up.
No, it's good, because I think for Donna, she's asking more specifically for her because she lost her points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
put your auto ship back on and you won't lose your points. They'll start collecting again. It won't come back, but they'll start collecting again. And that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
And can you just remind everybody? So if you get a silver, how many months are you active for? If you get a gold, how many months are you active for? Platinum, and diamond, just so everyone here is aware.
All of them except for diamond are for 31 days. That's it.
31 days. Okay.
31 days. So you want to make sure you have another order that kicks in before that happens in order to kind of reset. It's like a rolling window. So as soon as that next order goes in, 31 days to the future is going to be your next deadline, right? So that's how that works. With diamond, when you sign up as a diamond, you have 90 days before. So we just set that auto ship to start at 84 days to make sure there's no missing it. 84 days out when you sign up a diamond, they're qualified for those 3 months. They don't have to buy anything else. But at that 84th day, you want something to go in there so that they don't flush at that point.
Yeah. Okay. And last question about this. I know Melissa does it a little bit different. She likes to do the not the auto ship, but she does the maintenance package. Any pros and cons between the two?
Well, if you've upgraded to diamond, and you've activated to where you're at diamond level, then the maintenance packs are great. And there's a specific one I'm just going to look for right now. I don't know if I can pull it up because I can't upgrade anymore, but you would go into your back office and go to upgrade kits, and you can jump up to one or you can jump up to the others. If you go to maintenance packs, is underneath that same thing. I can't remember if it's maintenance pack 3. I think that's the one that was really the best one for our team because we only focus on X39. And you get 6 months, I believe, you get 6 months of qualification with 9 sleeves of X39. So you're paying only $84, just like with a diamond pack. You don't have to worry about it for 6 months, but you want to make sure you set an auto ship just in case you forget or miss, so that at that, like just before the 6 months hit, you've got an auto ship set. You can always push it out again and get your next maintenance kit, but do not let yourself miss a day because, oh gosh, if it flushes when it's been 6 months, that's kind of a bummer. That's a tough pill to swallow. Yeah. Maintenance packs are excellent in that way, but typically I just upgrade somebody all the way up to diamond, and then go to the maintenance packs. If somebody is at gold and they're not ready to do the full-on diamond thing and try to bring in more diamonds, they're not fully like goal oriented yet, they can still get a maintenance kit and stay qualified if they want to save the money and still get it for a really great price. I believe, I'm almost positive of that. But ultimately, when they activate as, have goals, we want to get them to the diamond level and help them really dig in and bring in some more diamonds.
Perfect. If anybody else has any questions, just about
I can't see the questions without my glasses. Are you?
Yeah, I got them. Yeah,
the questions. Okay.
Yeah. If anybody has any more questions about auto ship, just please throw them in the chat.
If you forget.
Well, Donna has a question actually in there. It says, "Is there anything that happens should you forget to take it off? I have forgotten and then let it off for the day, but I'm curious."
It's okay. Just 12 hours off and then start up again. It's not like your genes are going to be held at that younger, healthier state as long as you're producing GHK. So if you miss a day, don't worry about it. It's fine. If you leave it on for 24 hours, don't worry about it. It's fine. We don't need you to add any stress and cortisol to the body by worrying about it at all. Just get back onto the schedule, just like with a diet or brushing your teeth. Oops, I didn't brush. Go ahead and brush the next day. It's fine. What else? Any other questions? Is there anything on YouTube?
No, nothing on YouTube, but we still had some questions from last week. So we had one asking, how do you approach people that you don't know? I think that between the three of us, we kind of all have different ideas. So Melissa, do you want to go first, Alex, and then I can kind of take it?
You mean in person?
Yeah, in person. Like, how do you approach people that
I
you
don't? So in person, I don't approach people. I haven't done that yet, but I have had people ask me like, what is this thing you're wearing? And then that's the opening.
Yeah.
But if someone else wants to talk about how they approach people in person, I would love to learn how you do it.
I can. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I don't approach people with the intent to share necessarily. In the morning, I set an intention. If I'm going to be out and about, I set the intention and I put some samples in my purse, and I say, I intend to serve whoever you put in my path today who needs to hear this message. That's my prayer. And I put that out, and I just say, I'm willing to do that. And so already I've invited, by resonance, those people to run into me somehow. So then I just get curious of who's in my path, right? And I don't just like hit them up like, hey, have you ever heard of, but I will look for a genuine way to compliment somebody if I notice. For me, honestly, and I'm probably Melissa the same way, like if somebody has a really beautiful aura or energy about them, I always compliment on that. If they have a warm smile or whatever, I always compliment on that. But if there's something that they're wearing, or if they're talking with somebody, I just engage with whatever's happening in some way and just see if I can strike up a conversation. Maybe, and I'm semi new to the area here, I just haven't really explored the whole area. Maybe I hear them say something about a place that they've been. I can talk about, oh, I'm semi new to the area, and you start talking about that, oh, do you have children? Are they going? It's really part of what we're going to be diving into in this, in that book club that I'm talking about, because learning how to connect with people out and about is really a skill set. But I, again, believe your intention is the biggest thing. If my intention is to serve 3 people by being able to share this product, please send me the people today, put them in my path, and allow the conversation to flow naturally so that I get to share that with them. And it just seems to work. I'm telling you, like, if you ask, you will be helped, because you're coming from a place that I want to help people. Mm-hmm. So it's not, how can I sell my product to people? It's how can I serve, right? So again, there's so much mindset, because that's what goes out. That's we get who we are, we get what we're asking for. That's what will come back to us, and it'll be received in that way.
Yeah. I can share one thing that I think, Erin, you touched on this last week. I watched the replay today of what you guys did last week, and it's been really powerful. What I've been doing and what we've been doing is people ask me all the time when we meet a lot of people here, and they're like, so what do you do? That question, what do you do? Like, well, and now I've switched, and it was a little awkward for me at first, but now I'm getting a lot more comfortable and confident in it. And I say, well, you know what? I found this natural product that I am completely aligned with and in love with. And it's been a game changer. And I've loved it so much that I've become a brand partner with a company. And they're like, what is this thing? Tell me more. They're always like, what? Like, I'm just leaving like a little cliffhanger. And every time they're like, what is this? Tell me more. And just being upfront that I've become a brand partner and that I now sell this, for me, it has, because I used to feel kind of icky. I'm like, am I, but that's my own energy that I'm working to clear. But now that I just say upfront, I've become a brand partner, this is what I do. And people are like, great, awesome. It just takes all of that away. And it's just an open free. There's no hooks or anything. Like, this is what it is. They're asking me about it, and I can just go free and share and talk about it. That's been really powerful.
Yeah, that is like super powerful. Like, I can't tell people
Erin's witnessed.
How much this made it so much easier for her to talk to people. Of
Absolutely.
Just dropping that piece of, yes, I'm a brand partner with this, and I love doing it, and this is what I'm doing. And yeah, it's been a huge shift for her, for sure.
And just the energy of that is so huge. So in approaching somebody, or when you do start chatting with somebody, maybe you get curious about what they do, or maybe you have a window where you're able to say, like I've said many times before, oh, do you get to work from home too? Or something like that, because you're in the middle of the day, you're grocery shopping, and there's nobody here. Oh, isn't it so nice? There's nobody here. Do you get to work from home also? What do you do? And then it always comes back, we ask questions, and it'll flip around. But being ready for that, and being proud of what you do, and really knowing, like, I change lives, that comes through. And that enthusiasm, it's just as you were saying, Melissa, it's perfect. It's beautiful. And people aren't afraid. They're not calling you they're not going to engage with you to say, what do you sell? They'll ask what you do. Right. And if you just, oh, I love what I do, oh my gosh, it's just fantastic, that's going to come across really authentically. So
Yeah.
learn, fall in love with what you do, and
Yeah.
and plug into all of the stuff. Get yourself that series of exposures to where you're bulletproof. You understand about the product, you understand about the business, the industry that we're in, and this marketing plan, and how amazing this marketing plan is. What a huge offer. And when those 4 beliefs are set and locked in, man, you can just fly. You can fly. And if you find that you're weak in any of those, that's the exact area to go and learn more and really dive in. Not so you can regurgitate it, but so you can carry it in you so that it exudes with a confidence and a sincerity that is received, not as selling, but instead as something that you get to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, it's a big thing, especially, and people are actually inviting you to talk about it when they ask you what you do.
Right.
So
it feels so much better for me the way that I work when they're asking, the permission is there. I'm like, wow, here's the space. I'm gonna go for it. So, but I create that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to take that like one step further, especially when you're meeting people that you don't necessarily know. And I actually enjoy doing this, especially when you're meeting people in, say, service industries. And it doesn't mean that you have to actually talk about the product. You can just actually inquire, hey, would you be interested in working with a technology company? And I like to ask that question to people that have really good energy, that are like outgoing, and because those are the kind of people that you want on your team. And then it's like, if they have some curiosity, you can share with them about the product. And if there's interest there, then you can share more about the business. But sometimes with people that are in service industries that I feel that are outgoing with people, I like to share it with them from a business opportunity, not so just because it can kind of be, odd talking to your waiter about a patch, but they're in the service industry already. And they're obviously good salespeople. So why would you want them to be on your team? So just think about something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be straight up about the product. It could be about actually being a part of a bigger team. So
100%. Actually, I really love that you brought that up, Erin. That's beautiful, because there's many times I'm really direct, and I'm building a team. I'm recruiting flat out, right? So if I meet somebody who's got great energy, who's really great at what they do, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're really great at what you do. I can tell. How is your industry doing? Like, tell me about your industry. Are you open to something else? Are you looking for something else? Because you're the kind of person I would love to share this with. And I can say that again, because I believe in the marketing plan. I believe in what we're doing, the product, the industry.